My name is Saras Arya. I just 1 month back I was working at AwesomeConf as a software engineer, and just a month back I joined Mumata as a UI architect. And since 4 years I've been working completely just on web and that's it. And yeah, so this talk is around a case study that how we pulled it off at AwesomeConf. And so at AwesomeConf, when I joined in June 2017, we were working with our client-side application that was in Angular like 1.5, and that time, and it was it was a mess to just start with, and from there we started to take it off and migrate the entire AngularJS application to Vue, and it was a real challenge in itself, and I just want to talk about it and share my ideas and experiences. There's not going to be much of code involved in this. I cannot migrate an application right away, but yeah. I'm just going to talk about the case study and how we did it, and maybe you can take some lessons from it. And while you're doing your own migrations in your own company, maybe you're moving from React to Vue, or from X to Vue, whatever, or maybe from X to Y, whatever. So, but these things are very general and don't really restrict you to Vue.js. So in AwesomeConf, our tech stack was pretty cool. We had Node.js on the backend, Postgres as a database. Right now we have Vue in our client frontend. We still have Angular on the client on the admin side, but our client frontend is completely in Vue. Deployments completely happen in Kubernetes. Again, containerized everything, and we use serverless for all services. So it's a pretty cool backend to work with, and definitely, and we stay on the bleeding edge. Some of our services are again built with TypeScript and GraphQL as well. So yeah, that's a really great mix of technologies that we work with. And so we started. I joined in June 2017, and when I got certain features and bugs and some stuff like that, I used to see and I used to forget the code. The code is duplicated. The code is same code is here, the same code is in that file. One thing you change there and doesn't work there. There you have to go and change so that it works. So code was very. It was not a really great piece of code because a lot of people have contributed over time. The code tends to get our code smells, and so Webpack was already matured at that point of time, and so the first logical thought is you don't refactor it, go straight in. You try and fix what you can with the existing framework. So what I tried to do was our Angular code is generally it gets included via scripts. So you have those JS files and you include them in index.html using script tags, right? And what we used to do was use gulp and everything. So I wanted to move away from that architecture and move completely towards module systems that were packet introduced with using imports and exports. So I spent about 3 days just with me and one of our engineers, and I converted each and every file to an import system based thing, and it was a really hard task to work with. And once I actually did, I got the biggest shock of my life, and the shock was your branch is 659 commits behind master. So some features had just gone by till the time I was working, and my branch was about 600 commits behind master. So even if I had two choices. So either I started again from the beginning, taking a pull from the master, and or I could try and fix those merge issues. And I almost gave up at that point. I'm like, well, we're going to stick with Angular. There's no point in moving towards anything else. But then came decision from the management that we're going to redesign our website, right? And that was a really nice time for me to actually for us to actually think of something on those lines. So would we like our new website to be built in Vue.js, but it's going to take more time, or we would like to stick to Angular, but it's going to take less time, but we would still do the redesign. So our timeline was something like this. In October 2017, we did some POCs, and in October 2017 we finally kicked off the dev. I with few engineers, 4 or 5 of them, we started dev, and we finished off in December 2017. So it took about 3 months to actually migrate the entire thing. On paper, it was just 4 pages for us. homepage product, category product, but lot was happening behind the scenes. But it took us 3 months, and after 5 nights, so we started development. We started to release on Monday. We thought Monday is a great day to release, and we finally came on Friday. So we would release, we would go to a certain point and come back. Then in the morning, we would come and take down the site, bring it back up. It was a nightmare, but on the 5th day, while we had 4 days of sleepless nights, 5th day we finally got to release it. On in March 2018, so we divided our website in 2 parts. One was the product, one was the part which was non-user facing, which like our homepage, product, checkout and cart, and then those are user specific pages like profile page, settings, right, KYC and all these. These things have user data in them, so we did not touch that. So for a certain period of time, we were running Vue.js and Angular just in parallel. So there were 2 sites that were being there, but user would not know that there are just 2 sites. There are 2 different frameworks, entirely different from each other, and there are 2 sites in parallel working in production. So right now, when I look back, when I was preparing this talk, I was like, I don't have anything to talk about this talk. There's nothing. This is so common sense. This is how I even would do it. But then I was like, back then we were developing. This was not so common sense. This was not so easy for us to think about how would you do such kind of things. So I wanted to talk about it in case it's not common sense for everybody else as well, right? And in August 2018, we finished the final side of the user side of things. So finishing the entire development pipeline. So it took us about 8 to 10 months. But yeah, so if anyone wants to do that, keep that timeline in mind that you might have for the entire full phase development. So some wins that we had with Progressive. This is as of today. So we have on performance score. Okay, it's still low 54. Best practice we have about 86 and SEO we are 100. So in terms of Vue.js, what we run is we are server-side rendered Vue.js application that is running on Render Mojo, but we don't use NAS. So we use core Vue server renderer to actually render our server-side pages. We do caching manually. We cache our index.html cache for about 15 minutes, and before the new HTML actually gets generated. So that's how we improve our code. I think one question was how do we take the hits. So we do cache it 1 hour manually and keep it in memory. But one of the questions is, okay, cool, you're confident and you have figured out the hows of how to refactor large application, but why would you do it? Or if you have a large enough applications, it's kind of default that you work for a company that you're developing, because your personal projects tend to don't get that large, they are refactorable. So what reasons would you give your boss to consider migrating in that? Because it's costly. Your salaries are being paid. There's a cost that is involved for you, and for not just for you, there will be at least 3 or 4 engineers of you working, and 3 months of their salaries will be just gone into refactoring the code. Then why would you even do it, right? So why we did it was, at that point of time, we had 2 choices to go with. We had React as well as Vue, and I personally loved React more at that point of time, and I was doing a lot of React at that point of time. And I wanted to do React, but some people of the community thought that because everybody was so used to coding in Angular and Vue, when you see Vue, it's very much similar as to how Angular is. The syntax still remains the same. There's no JSX. How you think about it, mentally, the mental model is wedged. The learning curve is very, very short for Vue as far as React. That was, at least that's what my understanding at that point of time. And none of our engineers knew Vue, so we started to learn it before we started the kickoff. We started to learn. We distributed some tools out, and we thought not to repeat certain mistakes that we did with our existing Angular applications. Like if you have ever developed a client-side application, tracking is one of the most important parts. You use mixed panel, you use segment, anything. You would love to track a user journey, right? And our tracking code was built around each and every click would have certain tracking functions. Which means every click will have this built code just carried around everywhere else. So even if you want, if I had to track click on mobile and this, there will be 2 different click functions that will be called just for the same task, right? And I had to change those codes again. So tracking was one thing we were very sure that we will have rewrite it, and we want to rewrite it beautifully, make it as dry as possible. And there were a lot of other bugs. SSR was not there. Angular, of course, it was in client-side render. And Rento Mojo relies heavily on SEO. So, like somebody wants to sell furniture for rent in Bangalore, and we want to show these kind of results. So SSR was also great part. So we wanted to give organization SSR benefit, less time to fix bugs, and we wanted to bring performance benefits because we are a customer-facing section, not an admin panel that performance. Even if we take 1 or 2 seconds, it's okay. People might not buy stuff from us if we are 1 or 2 seconds. So performance is heavily critical for us, and SEO again was one of the main ones. So we wanted to give organization that these are the benefits you will get after the fact. And CSS was again CSS was there was a lot of dead CSS stuff, so we changed that. And I read this code on Twitter, but it's amazing code. The most permanent code are the temporary hacks you make. Those guys stay for the longest period of time. You know, the best code gets removed, but those hacks that you made stay. And you want to remove those hacks and go for it. One of the good questions was like if you are planning a refactor, when should you do it, right? And one thing that I thought to do is when your website is, because you will always have a product pipeline. Like your product manager would have certain pipelines like this after this, and this after this. And you as an engineer might not get that much amount of time. So there has to be a call from the management that you're going to rewrite stuff. And the best part is to do is if you're planning to redesign your website. Anyway you're going to write it from scratch, then why not write it from in a different language, in different framework, and in a better way. So and of course you need time and support from product management and definitely your engineers. You alone, if you're migrating a large website, trust me, it gets hard. I have tried it. I tried to do it for 3 days, and one mistake actually killed the entire thing. So make sure you have more engineers on. The more hands-on tech you will have, the better it will be. And the best part would be when it's just about to scale. So the good and the bad part about scaling is it's great when you're scaling because you get to learn a lot. And the bad part is the learning will suck if you don't have the right tools at hand when you're actually scaling. So say you're scaling for about like data tables is a great example. If you don't have good pagination support, if your users go beyond say a maximum page limit, it starts to get cranky. So it's good to have redesign in place, just before you're about to scale. Yeah. So how did we do it? So how did we start thinking about it? And so we forked the Hacker News SSR plus PWA demo from Vue.js. Yeah. So I see you nodding. So I think you know about it. Yeah. So we forked it from there, and we started to develop over it. And we wanted to divide our website into 2 logical halves. One was the customer side, from there the customer buys, and the post order thing, which is your subscription, unsubscription, delivery, schedule delivery, profile, and all those kinds of pages. So we kept everything and those in Angular because we didn't have that much amount of time to rebuild those. And then we had only this part of time. So we went for a URL-based strategy that we said that any URL that belongs to these guys would actually go through Vue.js, and these URLs would go through which is say /user or /dashboard URLs would go through our Angular website, right? And one example you could have a subdomain strategy. Certain subdomains would render into certain subdomains would render. So if you have say 4 clients, 2 of them are say x.y.com and z.y.com. So those you can build in Vue and rest would build in. You can control that from the website. So those 2 strategies we build with the URLs. So say if we were rebuilding our product page, that's the first thing that I did, and I was leading that the whole product page revamp, the backend plus the frontend. So if a product-based URL hit our web server, we would server-side render the Vue app, and Vue app will only have anything related to product. So even in our Vue router, we would have just URLs which was /product/detail/product/id and all those URLs. And in case there was an invalid product URL, right, and we would know this on the server, so we would render the 404 page, and this would also be on the Vue side of things, right? In case, see on the product page, in the bottom you have a about us page, right? That about us page is still in your AngularJS page, right? AngularJS app. And you click on the about link, then what should happen? You are in an inconsistent page because you don't have the about page, but you are in Vue.js app. So what we used to do is in our review router, we wrote some code that if the route is not found, what you need to do is you need to do window location dot reload. So actually when it reloads, it will take that URL with it and go back to the server. And then the server will run through it and will say, oh, this is not a product URL. So this is a / about URL. So I need to go to the next step. So if you imagine two app.gets, one is / product / star and one is everything else, and it would skip and come to everything else and it would return the AngularJS HTML. Once AngularJS HTML is returned with / about, the Angular router kicks in and would enter that. So yeah, we did have that minor reload thing that would happen when user would switch from one app to the other, but we did not see it that much because that's the design, that's the kind of behavior someone might expect when people are going to use a specific pages. Oh, he might need to load my data. That's why there's a loading screen. That has appeared there. So it kind of worked in our favor, but it might not every time. So that's the strategy we went with. And in case it was a URL that was not with product, we would redirect something to our old app. And again, if it was something invalid, we would go to our 404 for our old application. And we made sure that all our design systems stay consistent with. So we did make some changes in our Angular app, creating all those URLs which were not. So it should not happen that somebody is in Angular and goes to / product in Angular, your router actually kicks in and starts to render the old product page. So I had to actually remove those codes or routes and everything, and then actually go ahead with the router. So deployment again is a great. So you definitely need to deploy this, and how we structured our code is we had a server code, and within that we had our Vue.js code and our old website code, and yeah. So then this is how we did it, and we did it using Git submodules. So something you need to, if you're doing it in Vue.js with SSR, something you should definitely look at is cross-request state pollution. We actually did go through that issue. Assets, we were loading it from our, so generally people will have an asset folder, right? And people would put images there. That's actually not a great way to do things. You should be putting all your assets in S3, and because S3 does do a long-term caching for you, so those assets will be cached for you for a long time. And so if person was logged in Vue, he has to also be logged in Angular, and if somebody is logged in Angular, he has to be logged in. So we actually stored our tokens in local storage, which would help people if whenever somebody was in Vue.js would actually see this token exists, make some request, and see if it was there. And we did not have two different web servers. Our backend server was itself the Vue SSR, the Vue server renderer. So API request also went to our same server, and the Vue request also went to the same server. It did not go ahead with the two servers. Yeah, that was a mouthful. Good. Thank you guys. Do you have any questions for me? I know it was pretty fast, but yeah, if you have.
Why did you choose to have a single server? Because usually what I've seen is like people have front-end server which just runs Node and then they just do the SSR and then they make API call to different servers.
So, that question actually is around that if you have more than one server, it's a pain to. They have to start two servers, maintain this server differently, maintain that server differently, and API goes through. So then even within, so if your view is there, it makes server to this request. Even inside, even inside it will not go. I will have to do some extra manipulation to, otherwise it will go through my DNS. So we thought that we just keep it in one system and making the deployment simple and scaling will be much simpler. I would not have n number of Docker containers which I need to scale. One would take care of everything. Thanks guys.